And we're live, folks. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this live stream. Today we're discussing very advanced spiritual topics like, should you eat samosas today? And how many? At least that's what's on my mind.
What's on your mind? Can you repeat that?
How many samosas should I eat? Vegan samosas?
How big are they?
Oh, they're maybe 2 bites
Mm.
and they're gone. So they can be 10. And we're going to discuss spirituality, and we're going to see if Pippa can become enlightened today, because we procrastinated yesterday, but I think today is the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yes. So let's begin. First question is, Pippa, why aren't you enlightened? Come on.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think that's a very hard question also. Because I resist it. And because I don't know how to not resist it. Or, well, maybe it just needs time or more energy. Those are the two options. I think that's the answer.
Let me put on my sacred special beads to get this to become more mystical. So remind me again, when you went to the cemetery, how did you feel? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Uncomfortable?
The first half hour when I was sitting there meditating, I wasn't scared at all. I was just imagining the corpses and sensing the place. I envisioned everyone I knew as a corpse or dead. And at some point, that was quite calming, actually. And then I started feeling as if things were happening around me, and I could feel like energies approaching that I was not aware of before, or that I didn't recognize that much. And then also the sun started setting, and then I got really scared and I left. And then I got home, and it felt like that same spooky feeling was still there, and something was watching me from the back the full time. So I was still uncomfortable, and today I also feel uncomfortable, but it's a different type of being scared. It's yeah. In the times that I meditated today, I could feel my body become tense at some points, and my mind like being hooked on this idea of I'm gonna die, or I'm gonna make myself die, or what the hell is it that I'm trying to do? Like a lot of confusion, and then resisting the fear, and like just cycles of blah, 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 blah. And then there was one moment, or like a couple moments, where I could take a step back, and then immediately it restarted. Like, yeah.
Interesting. So, yes, a lot of people have this experience of meditating, and then they feel like, if I continue doing this, I will not exist any longer. Which definitely, that's not what you want to do. You want to exist. You want to be happy, healthy, alive. You want to live on earth as long as you can. But the practice of spirituality, and to attain the ultimate goal of enlightenment or liberation, you have to accept this fact that, hey, maybe this can happen. It's not uncommon for people deep in their meditation practice to slip out, and where'd they go? Nowhere. That can happen. If you're wearing metal, it's unlikely. But the practice is for you to be okay with that. Leaving, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, leaving. So, yeah, how okay are you on a scale from 1 to 10? If you had to go today, would you accept it or?
Yeah, I think first number that comes to mind is 8. Um, and I actually experienced some grief as well because I know that the practice is to get okay with this, and uh, yeah, like sometimes I feel myself becoming a little baby or a child, being like, "But I want to live. Why am I doing this?" And then mm, soothing it somehow. Um, but fear is a different experience. It's it doesn't really ask like, "Am I okay with this?" And then you get to decide yes or no. It's more like just a trip that uh, seems hard to like. How to put an end to it, or do I even have to? Maybe I don't.
Hmm. Have you watched any of your family members pass away? Grandparents or relatives?
Um, yeah, one of them, and actually, I went to visit a person today that is dying. Um, he has cancer, and it's not so clear how many days he still has to live. Um, I sat next to him, and it was a bit like I feel from all the people in the room, I was the one who was the least in denial of the fact that he was going to die. Uh, which was also a strange experience. And yeah, I didn't feel completely comfortable to like look at death in that circumstance because this person is still half alive and like not really okay with the fact that it will happen. So mm, yeah, and my grandfather had euthanasia a couple of years ago. So that was also a process that we knew 3 weeks in advance it was going to happen, and we kind of yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't see it happen the moment itself, but there was a big process before.
The reason why people are afraid to die, to go away from the planet, is because they have a lot of possessions. Even if you're broke and you have nothing to your name except the clothes on your back, you still have just as many possessions as a person that's a millionaire. Maybe more sometimes. Possessions not only in terms of physical possessions, but who you are. You think you are something. Oh, this is me and my personality. I'm a humorous guy and I'm this and that. You don't want to lose that. So when you go, you have to drop your whole act. That can be scary. Why? Because deep down, fundamentally, you know this is an act. This is not real. This inner experience or who you think you are, and to confront all the lies you've told yourself in 1 second, that may send you over the top or through the roof. So people want to hold on to their possessions. They don't want to let them go. They're very, very valuable possessions. Sometimes even suffering can become a valuable possession. You don't want to let it go because it's who you are. You're suffering. Oh, I'm this guy. I'm suffering. So, yeah. Would you be okay to let go of your possessions, physical possessions, and also spiritual possessions or mental possessions?
I think I would be okay with that, yeah. maybe what could hold me back from doing so, because like obviously it's not happening even when I say yes, is that there's nothing on the other side, or it's very unclear what is on the other side. Like, as you said yesterday, there's not really a why to it, or why is the wrong question. And it's easy to want something to go towards if you leave something behind. And that's not the case.
Yes, this emptiness scares people. They don't want to be empty. They don't want to feel empty. They want to go towards fullness. That's futile because enlightenment is the ultimate joke. It's right here, like right here. Where is enlightenment? Right here. Oh wow, it's right here. And it's when you uncover this reality of emptiness, there's nothing. It's so simple. It's through everything, this emptiness. It's through the window, it's through the wall, it's through your shoes, through the microphone. It's in everything. And it's so vast. It's everywhere. But it's nothing. So it's so small. And when you touch this space, when you touch this dimension, your ideas go away. Your personality, to some extent, goes away. Lots of things, lots of illusions go away. And it's scary because it's empty. There's nothing. Sadhguru said, what's safer than falling into a pit? Falling into a pit with no bottom. You just fall forever. That's kind of like how this is. If you go into this, that's it. I'll give you one more example. Maybe you've played video games before, and sometimes you complete the video game, and once you complete the video game, it's very simple. You completed the video game. So you can play the video game again however way you want. So enlightenment also is like playing a video game, but coming to the end. So that's what I wish for you, Pippa. I wish for you to come to the end of these things. And you will, absolutely. I see it. It's like very close.
Thank you, Shiva. Do you remember how it was for you? The last couple of days before it happened?
Yes, I've shared the story, but it was unsatisfactory to some viewers, so I guess I'll share it again. This was a while back, 2013. I'm sorry, 2023. I was watching Sadhguru Exclusive's video. It was titled The End of the Creation, Episode 3, or Secrets of the Cosmos, Episode 3, The End of Creation, something along these lines. And I remember it was nighttime, and I decided to go eat food because I was hungry. But eating food at night is not generally a good idea because you stay awake. But regardless, I ate some beans and whatever else I had, some vegetables. And I felt okay, I'm definitely not going to sleep for another couple of hours. So I sat on my bed, and I started watching this show, The End of Creation, and something happened. It was like the universe was crackling, or my energies were crackling. As Sadhguru was explaining this process, so how this creation began, how it ends, how the destroyer roars this universe out and then pulls it back. And then I saw it. I saw him. I closed my eyes and I saw the entire creation as it's roaring. It's a roaring process. It was the most expansive thought or vision that I've ever had. And I guess that made my mind totally break or shatter. I emerged out of that. Whoa. I understood how small and how insignificant this is, and how vast this monster is. And then I didn't think anything of it. It was a powerful experience, but the next morning something was removed from me. I was feeling a little bit clearer, a lot more clear, more smoothness in me. And I thought, what is this? What happened? And as the days progressed and I understood what happened, I lost this aspect of my mind, this judging aspect, or this concluding aspect, or this grasping aspect. My mind and my body, or my soul, or my spirit, whatever, it detached from the mind. Oh. So now there's just a mind and a body and a heart and whatever else is happening in here. That's it, nothing else. So I was separated from the mind and mind's activity. And yeah.
Interesting. It seems like in many stories something sparks it. The very moment. Pew.
What I also can share with you is that intensity is how you get this, how you get there. The more intensity you have in your body, the easier it is for you to practice spirituality in general. There were so many times where lots of intense things happened to me. And the more intense it was, after the next couple of hours, my meditation was so deep, I could see inside of myself. Wow, I see how this is happening. One memory from Burma is coming up that I don't know what happened. I just realized there's so many times that I was born. I just kind of felt intuitively in my body. And how many times I've lost family members and this whole process of suffering. How many times I had to come here. And I just started crying uncontrollably, crying so intensely. I don't know for how long, but for a while. And after I stopped crying, all this emotional release was gone in me. I sat down to meditate and I could very clearly perceive, wow, this is a sixth sense basis. Or there's six sense organs here and there's nothing really else. And I'm experiencing this whole process like this. So the more intensity you get, the more energy you cultivate, the better it is. The more you can purify yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel a lot of intensity. And it seems to also equal the resistance or the tension and the that's going on in my mind at times. But I'll keep on building.
So what are some things that you do that bring your intensity up that you've noticed?
Shambho, just chanting. I feel like in this very moment, just paying attention and sitting with my eyes closed in itself is already a way of building intensity. Watching you, pictures of Dhyanalinga, Kailash, Sadhguru, all the great ones. I actually printed a lot of different pictures, also Anandamai Ma, and yeah, just many powerful beings. And many more than I used to have. And this morning I was watching all of them. It was like 16 pictures, and it was just, I almost fell over by this, yeah, the weight of this or the intensity. So doing that, Rudraksh, I don't know.
Yeah. I have many pictures of Sadhguru in my room, appropriately so. Very powerful, wise being. He's like a yantra, so definitely very important, very needed to have pictures of him in your room. And yes, Rudraksha definitely does help a lot, actually. It brings energy into your body. You have Rudraksha from Isha Yoga Center.
Mm.
How come you don't wear it?
You asked me to dress specifically. I was
Makes
wearing
sense.
them full day. Yeah.
Okay. I understand. Sometimes it's not practical. Mm, yeah.
I also remember when it comes to Sadhguru exclusive videos that the ones in which he speaks to brahmacharis, or I think before Dhyanalinga, when I see videos of that era, usually it's very powerful. And I remember also one of those videos drove me mm, to go and do Bhavaspandana and to go to India and like yeah, I remember pausing it and then starting to watch again and then pausing it again and just being so overwhelmed by like not being able to look away, but also it's so painful to keep on looking and the the tension that it builds. So that's something as well.
When did you go to Bhavaspandana?
Mm, May last year, 2024.
Was this when you were in the Isha Yoga Center or?
No, a couple of weeks before.
Mm,
I think 6 weeks before I went there.
how was that like?
Amazing. Um, it was very intense, and I had two strong experiences of um, experiencing something else as myself. Once a person who was sitting in front of me, and some other time a tree. And it felt like an out of this world experience. The whole 4 days were just in a different dimension somehow. Uh, the way in which things align and in which every thought you have is in some way speaking with the outer world. Like Sadhguru is present in everything that happens there, every single thing. And that's very um, enchanting and intense and life changing.
I definitely wanted to go to Bhavaspandana. That was one of the programs that I most wanted to go to. The way Sadhguru explains it, and the way it's run. I saw an image of people standing in a circle hugging each other. Did you do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
And swaying for hours like this. It's almost Hare Krishna.
Mm.
But that's after a whole process. Um, and it is also very emotional. It starts with a lot of emotional release, uh, and with stepping over social boundaries so that everything becomes possible between people. Um, and then it builds towards experiences that you cannot really understand or grasp, or just like going with the process and giving it your everything, and then things happen that you don't like, that you cannot really explain or don't want to try to explain. It's just like uh, they're pulling you into very much out of the ordinary experience of life, or well, ordinary like.
I understand. Yes.
Mhm.
um. Yesterday, I watched a YouTube short by Sadhguru. He said that there's no such thing as sexual energy. There's just energy. I've heard this before, but it was a good reminder. Oh, yes, absolutely true. There is just Kundalini energy, and it rises up and it can go to various places in your body. Sometimes it can make you hungry, it can make you horny, it can make you intelligent. Lots of things, but there's no sexual energy in its essence. There is just energy. And that's what we call the Kundalini energy that sits in the base of the spine. Lots of dormant energy there. So I'm wondering if you've had any experiences ever with Kundalini. Have you ever felt this energy spike, maybe in Bhava Spandana? And how was that like?
Sometimes I believe that I feel something like it. But I'm not so sure. Well, yeah, if everything's energy and everything's Kundalini, then obviously yes. I remember the first day when I came to Isha Yoga Center. Every morning they do Om Namah Shivaya for 20 minutes or 21 minutes. And by accident, I went to the place where all the men do it because I wasn't aware of the fact that there was also a place for women to do it. And I sat there, and it felt like I somehow absorbed a lot of the masculine energy of like specific people who were sitting and chanting. And I was also doing it, and I was really giving it my all. And then I really felt mm, like a fire burning through my spine, and that was a very intense experience. And then also, what I sometimes experience now or in the last month is um, that there's a lot of energy like in specific places, and I suddenly understand why people compare this type of energy to a snake or a cobra. Because in the feeling of it, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a type of movement and the how rapid, and at the same time, there's something like almost poisonous, or it almost makes you nauseous, I think, in a way, when I feel it, and it's unexpected and it is in specific places doing things. It's just like, yeah, overwhelming. And in the last month, every time when I sit for meditation, I just start spinning and I feel a lot of like energy going all different kinds of places. And in the past few days, it's almost constant that when I sit still, this starts happening. Like now I'm faking it, but yeah, it was happening a few minutes ago when I was just listening to you and watching you. And it's not the full package from the base of the spine, but it's also Kundalini, I would think. Or
Yes, energy is rising. It's good. And yeah, it is a snake. I've had experiences also many years ago. I had some entity attachment, something was latched onto me, and during the full moon night, I became aware of it. It was inside of my energy body. And then right as I became aware of it, the snake from my spine started rising up. I saw it. It's like energetically, a snake is coming up to destroy this. And I knew this was happening. I got so afraid. Oh my God, what if this backfires? What if something happens? And the second I became afraid of this or worried, it instantly vanished. I still had to deal with the attachment, but after that happened, I thought, what if I just wasn't afraid and let this energy rise up and destroy this? That would have been a much more sane thing to do. Yeah, some people say that this Kundalini energy is very intense. That story you just shared is a little bit scary, actually, because you could injure yourself with the spiritual process. The burning of the spine, it's not so simple. things can happen, especially if you're in a powerful place. You got to be very careful.
Mm-hmm.
And Sadhguru says that some people go into the Kundalini energy and they do irreparable damage. It can't be fixed, at least in this lifetime, that is quite scary. At the same time, very potent this is. And Sadhguru also says that the best way, most appropriate way of releasing this energy is slowly in a conducive environment. And as it slowly comes up, you can make adjustments. Oh, okay, I shouldn't do this in my lifestyle. I should change my food, change this, change that. But if it all at once comes up, oh my God, I don't think a person can handle that. Something like that has happened to me years ago. It did come up all at once, actually, during the 2020 to 21, 22. And I couldn't make the adjustments. I was going crazy. I was running back and forth, not knowing what to do. My body was not stable enough to handle this energy. But now it is, thankfully, or hopefully. So.
But then what happened? Did you let it go back down, or how does that work?
No, I was just suffering, you could say. Moving furniture around, thinking this picture should be here, and then putting it there, and thinking, no, this is not the right place, putting it there, and then deciding, no, this is not the right picture, and I destroying it, throwing it in the trash, and then thinking, why did I do that? And then buying another picture. Oof. So time progressed, and this energy soaked into my body, and I became normal once again. But it took a while, a couple of months or years. Yeah.
That's curious, because I've always thought that the natural way is that you get self-realization and then it comes up. And I know that people try to spark Kundalini rising and that it doesn't go well usually, because if you're not ready to take it in, it could be disastrous. But I didn't know that for you it happened that way. But then you had a second experience, or like, did you also experience this at the moment of enlightenment, or?
No, actually, nothing like that. My moment of awakening was more of like a glass shattering. It was shattered, and that's it. Now I can see through the window, or through the glass. No more glass. Yeah, I think this is good enough for one day. Don't really have much else to say. If anybody has any burning questions, you can ask via super chat. Otherwise, Sadhguru also says that anybody that wants to awaken their Kundalini, they have to either be in a safe environment, or have extreme mastery within themselves, or be with a teacher that knows what they're doing or knows what's going on with you. I'm not like Sadhguru, but I'm a little bit like Sadhguru. And I can see these things. And my friends, I can make it happen to you. I'm doing it right now. So as these conversations progress and go forward, I'm sure you'll have many more changes in your life. They will come, inevitably, no doubt. And if you want to work with me, my friends, the website is www.shivakailash.com. That's the place to be. Purchase yourself some Rudraksha, the one that I'm wearing, very powerful. And that's it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Shiva.